Hey guys, it's Jim. About 7:45 on June the 3rd. Okay, I was able to recalculate these timestamps. Um, like I said yesterday, this is the noisiest sort of setup that I've seen in the past 3 weeks. Obviously, the past three weeks have gone really well. We've had a lot of timestamp turning points to hit within 2 minutes, and just excellent tracking both on time and price. So, you guys need to expect some bumpiness here and there. I always do. But I think I have a handle on it. This is the toughest thing they could throw at me as far as two halts. But I believe we're going to have to shift those timestamps forward about 13 minutes. So here's where we are. We're at it's 7:45 right now. Um, let's see, 7:45. So I didn't recalculate this one. So add 13 minutes to this timestamp right here, and then, but more importantly, um, right here. So this strength looks like into, we'll call it 8:30 my time. That's AMPST, right? We still have this weakness here, and since we've been in a downtrend, um, uh, I'm going to assume that this will be a turning point low. Now, it could be a lower low on the session, or it could be a higher low. If it's a lower low, then I'd be looking at my hourly trigger. That hourly trigger will rise by the time we trade into 8:35. Let's see. It's, maybe $1. So anyway, if we were to make new lows in the session, I would think that hourly trigger is going to be around, $41. If there's an overshoot to the downside, you guys can look at like some just typical standard technical levels based on previous price highs on your charts, things like that. Anyway, here's what's the important takeaway though is that this new data that was generated this morning, this is clean data because it was generated after we reopened after that second halt. So even if I'm wrong on this calculation of adding 13 minutes to these timestamps, I should be pretty close on this one. Now, I'd say minimum $61 vibration or a 64.50 retest sort of into this time period. What I'm also hoping is while we trade forward into these timestamps, that I'll generate new data, hopefully bullish data that'll drop in right here. If I do that, then we have a shot at moving higher into not only 9:35 a.m. PST, but some other time period after that, if I can generate the new bullish data. If we hit the 64.50 retest, either into this period or prior, like maybe we hit it like here, if that were to happen and the markets and the AMC starts to take off to the upside, that speed line from last night with that $88 bogey, as it shifts forward to 9:35 would become a 90.50 bogey. I don't think that's going to happen today, guys. This is kind of where I think we'll find ourselves at 9:35, but we'll see, and I'll monitor it closely. And then, as I said, hopefully we have some new bullish data here. As far as the everything in a Nimoy, this looks pretty typical. This is kind of stair stepping. Typically, a stock, if it's just mildly bullish and in a normal uptrend, will move down and revisit the hourly trigger. AMC has not had a history of revisiting the hourly trigger. I mean, once we came out of that three trigger cluster here and started to take off, you can see on the pullbacks, it just hasn't been able to, it hasn't wanted to move all the way down to that hourly trigger. So that's a really bullish thing that could happen again today. But I'd say worst case scenario, it revisits that hourly trigger into that zone of weakness right there. And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not ever going to suggest that you guys buy or sell anything. I don't make recommendations of any kind. I can just tell you that the way I interpret the model is that would look like a low to me. That would look like a low to me. And then risk reward wise, this tape is so stretched out right now that there's probably we would see a large price difference between, where the stock's trading right there and where it might be trading into this timestamp or even some new data that might be bullish here. Okay. Hey, I don't like to give advice. I don't think I'm really suited to give people advice, and especially some of my audience is probably 10 times smarter than I am. But in general, from a psychology standpoint, try to be humble. There was a ton of smack talking yesterday, and everyone's talking in terms of how they're going to spend their money. I mean, you guys, if you're old enough to remember the old Kenny Rogers song, never count your money while you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. I'd kind of think in terms of that a little bit here and just try to have some humility and we're all having fun. I mean, I created that hedgies getting wedgies hashtag. It's a lot of fun, but still, I don't want to cross any lines because it could negatively affect, sort of my psychology toward the owning the stock. I don't want to get too cocky and get bit by that. So anyway, something to keep in mind, you guys. Good luck. Everything's looking good. Hopefully you were able to weather the storm.